This Use a Plane is brought to you by...
So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first, let me check my usage on the MyLime app. Now, what should I wear? Hashtag sexy. He's here.
Welcome to the Barbados Today Afternoon Update for Friday, April 10th. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Thanks for joining us. The government ramps up efforts to make the country more energy efficient in a move to lessen its dependence on fossil fuel and tap into renewable energy. The Frondell-Stewart administration today made amendments to the electric and power bill as Parliament resumed this morning. In piloting the bill, Tourism Minister Richard Seeley outlined the new fees for domestic and commercial licensing.
A domestic application fee for a license, that will be a system up to or equal to 25 kilowatts. That application fee will be $200. The license fee would be $50. Over and above that, we are then getting into the commercial realm. Starting with the new category I mentioned, 25 kilowatts up to 100 kilowatts, the application fee would be $500 and $100 for the license. We then have the categories going progressively up, 100 to 150, 150 to 500 kilowatts, 500 kilowatts to 1,000 kilowatts. And then, of course, once you get up there, then you get into a megawatt. So we have 1 megawatt to 10 megawatts, whether intermittent or non-intermittent. And then, of course, more than 20 kilowatts. And then you get into an actual public utility over and above that.
A noted professor of the University of the West Indies Cavell campus is calling for creative destruction of the education system in Barbados. Professor Dr. Andrew Downs made the call for reform yesterday as he addressed the Rotary Club of Barbados weekly meeting at the Hilton Resort. The professor, who is a former director of the Sir Arthur Lewis Institute of Social and Economic Studies, suggested reform in 4 areas, including curriculum reform that's relevant and globally oriented.
We need to focus on pedagogy, which is therefore we need to devise ways and means of being able to convey information to persons that fix their ability to learn and the capability to do certain things. Because what you have is an education system which is straight-jacketed, forces you to finish things in a certain time by a certain age, and certainly some of us are not up to speed in that particular regard, and that creates a bit of a problem for us. Thirdly, we need also to look at assessment methods. How do we assess people, especially at the transition from one level of education system to another level of education system? We want that system to be not only continuous, but to also be developmental. Finally, we need to have a system where we need to develop transition arrangements as we move from one level to the next.
In other news, the indiscriminate disposal of garbage in the country continues to create headaches for the Sanitation Authority. And the SSA's acting general manager, Janice James, says the practice is putting the health of workers who have to service 156 routes across the island daily at risk.
Here now we are asking for the public support and cooperation. Some of the constraints that we have with the collection of garbage is the containment practices of households. Householders put out garbage indiscriminately. They do not use receptacles to put the garbage in. At times when they put the receptacles, there are no holes in the bottom of the receptacles. So the water, when it rains, all of that water is trapped inside of the containers, causing difficulty for our workers. Another problem that we have is persons fail to wrap anything that is broken and they just put them in the cans. So when our workers go in to take out these things, the injuries.
Two men who were on the police wanted list appeared in court today to answer numerous criminal charges. A 30-year-old Ricardo Winfield Mayers of Bannister Land, Martindale's Road, St. Michael, and a 32-year-old Pearson Omar Jordan with no fixed address are charged with robbery, kidnapping, 2 counts of aggravated burglary, 2 counts of endangering life, 4 counts of theft, and the illegal use of a firearm. Meantime, 25-year-old Claishas Shamara Bernard of Taylor's Gap, Martindale's Road, St. Michael, is out on bail for harboring Mayers and Jordan. According to police, Bernard was assisting an offender in relation to the capture of the 2 men who were apprehended at her residence during a search by police.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
A test of character. A test of focus. A test of will, a test of resilience, a test of courage. Barbados, the test is on. West Indies, England, May 1st at the Mecca. Tickets $30, $40, $50, and $60. It's on.
Are you Barbados is on?
Barbados, are you ready for Movado?
She says our destiny to get next to me.
FAS Entertainment presents the Digicel Reggae Beach Party Sunday, April 19th at the all-new Reggae Island from 3 p.m. featuring the new sensation Gully Bob,
Every girl want to walk off
Popcorn, the return of Movado. Plus Lead Pipe and Satis, Brutal, Kirk Brown, Mad Dog, Peter Ram, Celebrity Face, Lady Essence, Stiffy, Mole, and Slims. MC Jamar the Star. The Digicel Reggae Beach Party Sunday, April 19th at the all-new Reggae Island, Pierhead Lane, Lower Bay Street from 3 p.m. It begins here.
To news from the region now, CARICOM leaders arrived in Panama for what is billed as a historic summit of the Americas. For the first time, Cuba will sit at the table with its Caribbean and Latin American counterparts at the event held every 3 years. There is also high expectation amid reports that United States President Barack Obama will hold one-on-one bilateral talks with Cuban President Raul Castro tomorrow. A White House official confirmed that President Obama spoke with President Castro last night. The talks come as the U.S. State Department reviews Cuba's status on the states who support terrorism list to the White House. While in Jamaica yesterday, President Obama says Washington is pressing ahead with plans to build fresh relations with Havana, though it will take some time. He also advised CARICOM to deepen ties with its Caribbean neighbor.
It is my strong belief that if we engage, that offers the greatest prospect for escaping some of the constraints of the past. I think the Cuban people are extraordinary and have huge potential, and what's encouraging is that the overwhelming majority of Cubans are interested in ending the Cold War, the last vestige of the Cold War, and moving forward. It's going to take some time for the United States to fully implement some of the things that have already been agreed to, and it's going to take a little bit longer before you actually have complete normal relations between the United States and Cuba. What I would say to Caribbean countries is absolutely you should continue to engage in Cuba in the ways that you've already done in the past.
And on the international scene, a head-on collision between a bus and lorry in Morocco leaves at least 31 people dead, many of them young athletes. According to reports, 9 others were also injured in the southern city of Tantan. Many of the victims were killed by a fire which broke out following the crash. The majority of the victims are said to be children between the ages of 8 to 14. Over in the United States, news is that Hillary Clinton is planning to launch her presidential candidacy on Sunday through a video message on social media. And with that, we come to the end of our Barbados Today afternoon updates, but we'll be back again this evening. Until then, remember, you can log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune in to Channel 101 Online TV as well as Mix 96.9 FM to get all the latest news and sports. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Do have a wonderful day, and we'll see you later.
This news update is brought to you by...
So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first, let me check my usage on the MyLime app. Now, what should I wear? Hashtag sexy.